course, and you know that most of the diseases now that we're dealing with are what we can consider multi-factorial diseases. And it's just, I've used post-weaning diarrhea as an example. And you know there are so many things that influence the level of disease, both positively, here on the left side, high weaning weight, higher weaning age, and so on. And on the negative side, you can have concurrent PRRS virus infections, low temperature in the stable. So this multifactorial way of thinking of diseases is something that we are working a lot with. And I think all these things have led to what we call proactive health management. And that is really to try to sort of detect and solve the problems before they go really bad. And I know that if we go back 30 years or even long, I mean, in the late 80s and the start of the 90s, the role of the veterinarian was, okay, the farmer had a problem. They were dying a lot of pigs. They had a huge bunch of problems with pneumonia, whatever. The farmer went to the farm, helped the farmer solve this acute problem. Nowadays, it is much more, you can say, health management and prevention of those acute cases to occur. And in order to have, you can say, this good health management, we put a lot of emphasis on the basic things as feeding and management and so on. And it may seem a little bit, okay, everybody know how to do that. Yes, that is true, but I don't know how it is with you, but with us and also in the other countries we have in Europe, it is really, many things are related to problems with the basic things, with quality of feed and quality of staff and those kind of things. And other elements of such a proactive health management is also monitoring the occurrence of disease before it goes wrong. So that means taking samples on a regular basis for PRRS, for example, or mycoplasma lung scores as an example, or stomach ulcers. Also, like I said before, monitoring antibiotics, making sure we know, okay, do we have involvement in the level on the individual farms? Is it going up? Is it going down? And also monitoring of those basic things like feed and water and so on. And here on the following slides, just some examples. So that means, for example, monitoring of the feed quality. And that could be monitoring the mycotoxins level in the raw materials. It could be monitoring protein levels so that we don't all of a sudden use a shipment of soybean protein that has higher increase, so that will result in diarrhea in the nurturing pigs. So we are making samples of the soybean, so we are adjusting the diet so that we don't get diarrhea because of that, and so on and so on. Also monitoring water, again, a very basic things, the level of water. We still see a lot of urinary tract infections in sows, unfortunately, because they don't get enough water. Also, quality of the water can be an issue on many farms, especially when they have their own wells. So microbiology has to be checked regularly. And also, again, the monitoring of the environment, regularly making analysis for CO2, for example, moisture, temperature, dust, level of bacteria, to see, okay, is the ventilation set in an optimal way? So again, we can adjust before we can actually detect some disease problems. Yes, and this was just to show the CO2 measurement as an example of what the levels should be. And also on the picture of the pig in the left side is just to show we on some farms we had a lot of problems with ear necrosis, and we can see that it is sometimes related to poor air quality. Generally, it will be paid for by the farmer. That is the rule. But of course, when we're talking about specific diseases, there may be some medical companies who offer a lab investigation for, let's say, PRRS virus or PCV2 or whatever. And I know that HIPRA is doing that in Denmark at least. And So sometimes we are using those services, but most of the stuff we do, I would say 90% is paid for by the farmer themselves. No, not at the moment. I know that well, we do some minor stuff. So if I had to go into detail, we make some parasitic investigations, for eggs, from parasites, Asclepias and so on, flotations, McMaster technique. We do that on the sow farms. We do some hemoglobin measurements, because that's something we have had a lot of focus on. So we have a HemoQ, a small machine where you can measure hemoglobin. We have done a little bit of a normal bacteriological culture, but that is really, really low. I know there's one practice at the moment that is actually working on making PCR by themselves. We have decided so far that I don't think we have the facilities to do it. And I want to make sure that we get the correct answers. There is no support for the labs either, so they are run totally commercially. So that's why I think we have, at least we used to have pretty high lab expenses here in Denmark. I say that we can get a PCR test for 600 Danish crowns, so that's like 90 euros. That would be one PCR test. I know it's a little bit cheaper in Germany, but not much actually. I know so you can compare to your own prices.
Okay.
Yeah, what I mean is that our company in Øvet, we travel a lot to other countries, and in all those countries we are working together with the local veterinarian. So we are an addition to the local vet. So if we go to Italy, we are making consultation, and if we think together with the farmer, and the local vet is also normally there along with us on the visits actually. So together with all these different people, maybe we say, okay, again, we need to start PCV2 vaccination. Then it is the local veterinarian who make the prescription or how that works. And also because, like you say, there are so many different rules with everything in different European countries, also with welfare and transports and so on. It would be a nightmare to know that. So that's why we are working really closely with the local vets. The veterinarians in the pharmaceutical companies, they have one major role is, of course, as a technical service for us, you can say. So when we have a question about Bupure or some other vaccine from other companies, we can ask them about it if we have some doubts, about how to use it or whatever. In addition to that, like I said, some companies, or actually more or less most of them, I guess, really offer some kind of support function also with labs. I mean, lab investigations. I know that they would like, if we want to, they would like to go to the farm. They would like to talk to the farmers about how to use the vaccines and stuff like that. They also would like sometimes to set up trials for vaccines. I mean, smaller trials, not like big, registrations or anything like that, but just smaller trials to test under Danish conditions and so on. I would say for Øvet, our company, we mainly use them for technical advice because we would like to, all the work with the farmers, we like to do that ourselves.